Welcome to the Alliance Connection, a podcast by the Greater Fort Dodge Growth Alliance. Each week, we bring you insights on business, economic development, and community growth in the Greater Fort Dodge region. Our focus is to drive progress, support local businesses, and enhance the quality of life in our area. All right. Well, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Alliance Connection. I'm Astra Ferris.
And I'm Katie Grobe.
And today, I am so excited. We have some guests with us. We have Elizabeth from Linking Families, and we have Jenn from Fort Dodge Play and Learn Center. Welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yeah. So I know that there's a lot of exciting things that we have on the horizon. But before we get into all of the happenings, tell me a little bit about what Linking Families does exactly.
Well, Linking Families and Communities is a nonprofit. We've been around for, I've been there for 26 years.
Oh, really?
And so we're almost 30, really. But we've operated a lot in the background. But our focus is early childhood services from health and childcare to preschool, family support, those types of things. But because we've operated in the background, we're not like the household name that we probably could have been, for the last 30 years. So some of the things that we have done, that we do is, preschool tuition assistance. We work with partners to make things happen. And so we might be the large funder of a program that you don't know that we are involved with.
So we may have a benefit from something that it was kind of like the pass through, I guess? Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Right now, for families that are delivering babies at the hospital, Linking Families is providing a sleep sack to promote safe sleep and let families know about community resources. I mean, so that's a small
some of
thing,
the education
but
pieces.
Yes, we're the wide variety of things from birth to 5 or pre-birth to 5, really. I mean, our vision is happy, healthy kids. Yeah. Happy, healthy children. So those are the things that we're doing, and oftentimes behind the scenes. But we're happy to do it, and we don't do it for the accolades or the notoriety.
Right, right. And really that early childhood, that's a very important time in a child's life, right? And I mean, do you want to kind of speak to some of that? I just don't think that people realize that there's a lot of correlations between, contributing citizens and not successful early childhood really poises us for growing a thriving community later, right?
Right. Well, by age 5, 90% of a child's brain is developed. I mean, all of the synaptic connections in your brain, are developed, and then they're strengthened over time. So, really, we have to do things right in early childhood. We want to make, that forms, like you said, a strong citizenry, right? People who are prepared and entering the workforce and are contributing versus, in the prison systems and that kind of stuff. So all of those things, everything that your brain does later as an adult is formed in early childhood.
Wow. From 0 to 5.
From 0 to 5, hearing and social attachment and all of those things. So that is why it's so important that we are doing what we can to the best of our ability to support that in our community.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so I guess with that, Jenn, tell us a little bit about your organization.
Yeah, so everything Elizabeth is saying is so directly aligned with the Play and Learn Center, which is why we're a program sponsored by Linking Families and Communities.
Okay.
So it was a dream of mine, and then long story short, I got connected with Elizabeth, and that's really what made the center finally open. So we've been open since August of 2022, which is crazy. We're coming up on 4 years almost.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this summer. So pretty crazy. But we are a place for children and families to come and play and connect. So we really didn't have that space before in our community for families to take young children to just play and let them, so many times we take young kids to the grocery store, to different places throughout our community that it's like, don't touch this. You can't do this. It's a lot of no's that they hear, right? And so we really wanted a space in our community for kids to just come be kids, play. And it's also been a great place for adults to connect. We've seen some really great connections and community be created throughout the Play and Learn Center, which has been great.
That's awesome. And so how many kids do you serve through that?
So I pulled numbers before we met today. We last year had over 1,000, some repeat visitors in total for all of our programs. So we do things, we're located in the Wells Fargo building on the second floor. So the space we have limits us there. We do open play and music class, but then we also do a lot of pop-up events throughout the community. So through the winter months, we do Super Saturdays. We rent out area schools. I shouldn't say rent because they give it to us for free, but utilize
schools. Yay.
Yes, utilize their gymnasiums and their lunchroom cafeteria space to spread out a little bit more. And so, we serve anywhere from 50 to 100 kids at those sessions throughout the winter. Which especially in the wintertime, kids have a lot of built up energy, so it's nice to have more room. We also started this fall doing pop-up sessions at the pavilion. So we're constantly trying new things and getting out into the community to serve families in the best way we can.
And so is this a cost families pay to go to these things, or how do they?
Mostly. We try to keep it really reasonable.
Really
so it's
affordable?
$4 to $5 depending on the session per child. Adult tickets are not needed.
Okay.
So that's just for the children age 1 and above. The Super Saturdays we were able to offer for free thanks to sponsorships. So
Yay.
shout out to Cargill for believing in what we're doing, and they covered the cost because we keep entrance fees so low. We also don't have a ton of revenue coming in, but we want to still offer these things. So getting sponsorships from businesses like that, we have a lot of corporate sponsorships that help us do what we do. So.
Nice. And I know that you've got a lot of sponsorship opportunities for some happenings at Linking Families, don't you?
Yes.
Do tell.
Well, I do want to just say that Jen has done a phenomenal job with the Fort Dodge Play and Learn Center. And so we were happy to say, hey, let's work together. We have similar missions. Come on, let's work on this together. And I think with everything that Linking Families has done over the years, it's all about partnerships.
Oh, yeah.
And so, this is a great partnership. We want to keep something low cost that people can do. I mean, children may have some of these toys at home or the things that are happening at the Play and Learn Center, but it also gives parents an idea of things that they can do, maybe a little bit differently. If you've had kids, that someone else's toys are better than yours. Even if you have the same thing, it's a different place.
They're way better.
Yes, for sure. I mean, let me just share. One of the top hits that I bring to our pop-up session, red Solo cups. And the parents leave the sessions and they're like, how did I not realize it was this simple? Yeah. They're creating towers taller than themselves, and how cheap and inexpensive. And sometimes I think we as adults overcomplicate things and kids really need the bare minimum to have fun.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's pots and pans and cardboard boxes and wooden spoons and those types of things that, create play opportunities that doesn't take a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I wanted to give Jen a shout out because she has done a phenomenal job.
Yay.
And we're so happy to be.
It's been a good partnership because I've been able to pick her brain. It's always better when you have somebody else to run things by. Sometimes she's like, whoa, with the ideas, right? Okay, voice of reason.
Brilliant. Hold on a second.
But it's been extremely helpful. And I mean, the program wouldn't be here without her belief in creating this kind of thing in our community. Yeah. And it's been phenomenal to have her support.
Well, and what an awesome workforce retention tool and attraction tool. This is just one more added thing for our community members too. It's like if you are somebody that is a new employee at one of our manufacturing plants and you have small children and maybe you don't have that big village, where are you going to take them to go and play with other children, right? So I feel like there's more things than we don't maybe often realize. So that's really
create
cool.
your own village, because that's the one powerful thing I think that I've seen happen besides the kids. Kids are at that age doing a lot of parallel play. So they're not a ton of interaction. I mean, that's not the developmental stage they're at. But, I might meet someone else that I had never met before and we might become friends, or at least, it's a friendly face you might see somewhere else. So it serves a dual purpose.
Absolutely. I love that.
But yes, we do have, moving on to your question, we do have some exciting things happening. So we are working on a childcare project, a little childcare project out on 5th Avenue South. So I'm excited that will be opening up at sometime this summer.
Great.
And it's been a labor of love. It's been something that's been a long process, but certainly worthwhile. So hopefully people are seeing the improvements to the old, what we would call the old Becker Florist building.
And this by the hospital.
Out by the hospital, right across from the Fort Museum. So,
Okay.
I was driving by that thinking, what is
You're
that?
thinking, what is that?
What are we doing over here?
A new childcare center.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. I mean, it's so neat to see what has taken place at that building since December. From an empty building that had, I don't know, a 14 by 14 foot square carpet from the 1970s left in it.
Very nice. Yes.
To like
Did we remove that? Probably.
we did. I thought we should have probably, cut a
one
scrap
square for
and
a
put it on the
Memory.
wall or
Where
something.
we started, where gone.
This is what the carpets used to look like.
Right. To, a modern childcare facility.
Right.
So
And what a great location, too.
a great location.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Nice.
traffic coming in and out of the community. It's easy
Yeah.
to get to. It's right by some of our major employers. So yeah, we went through a lot to get to that point. But everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
And yes, I think we landed in a great spot.
So how many children will we serve there? How many kids can you take to that place?
Well, we will be able to serve 71.
wow.
So not as large as we had originally planned.
Okay. Still quite a lot,
But we
though.
had, we right-sized the project to what, was feasible. And so that'll be 71 kids that hopefully can come off a waiting list and be served.
Yeah.
That's great.
It's such a need in our community. I mean, I can speak from
Absolutely.
conversations I've had with Elizabeth, but also just from my own perspective as a mom and a mom in community with other moms that are, that's the first question people worry about is, where am I going to send? I mean, people are, the second they get a positive pregnancy test almost, you have to call and get on a wait list.
Yeah.
And it's just a huge need in our community. So more spots are needed. And
I agree. And we've seen that too with more folks like through the community concierge program and folks that are taking jobs here at some of these major industries. And then, like trying to, where do I go? And by the way, we have wonderful daycare centers
We do.
currently. But sometimes there's not enough room and it might be a timing thing. And so just having more options for community members is always great.
And Linking Families does so much to support those. That was something that I did not know, again, behind the scenes, right? Linking Families is doing all of these things, supporting. My children go to Kids Zone in First Presbyterian Church, and, they've done things like provide laptops for the providers there to be able to take professional development courses to further themselves in their education and their ability to care for young kids. So they're also simultaneously, while building a new facility and getting a new one open, serving all, the existing ones as well when they need it.
And supporting those.
Yeah.
And that's great. So if we have any of those daycare providers, what would you have for services? That's a great thing, the professional development.
Yeah.
But what else?
Well,
do you do?
in Iowa, there's Child Care Resource and Referral. So they are the main group that is the linkage to some, like staff support and some grants, but they're limited. And so Linking Families and Communities, although that's changed, things change and each year is something different. But, we're still providing like mini grant supports to help with whatever the need might be. If it's a licensure need, if, you just need more manipulatives or it just depends. Every center is different. We've provided in the funds in the past to help with the startup at Kingdom's Kids. So we helped community expand by writing grants, and Linking Families was the grant holder for a $300,000 grant to help with that project. So there's just, again, a lot of things that we do
behind the scenes that you guys do. That's cool.
Because yes, we have great child care providers. This our project isn't to be in competition necessarily, but it's to add to and hopefully provide, to provide that another quality option for parents. If you're a parent with young children, like a baby, it's extremely hard to find childcare because of the limitations of what's offered and what can be offered by a center because of
laws
cost,
and things.
laws and ratios and
like
space.
there's some sort of term. It's ratios.
Yes.
Can you kind of, for some of our listeners that maybe it's been a while since they've been in the world of daycare, or can we kind of explain what that looks like 0 to what all the laws.
Yeah. So for children age 6 weeks so 6 weeks to a year is typically an infant classroom.
Okay.
1 staff to 4 children. Okay. 1 year to 2 years, again, 1 staff to 4 children. At 2 years, the state law is, or state code, sorry, is 1 staff to 7 children. For 3s, it's 1 staff to 10. For 4-year-olds, it's 1 staff to 12. And for school agers, it's depending on the age, but we'll just round up, 1 staff to 15.
Okay.
So infant and toddler and 2-year-old care is extremely expensive to provide. And so that's why folks typically have more school age children, because that offsets the cost.
Okay.
Right? And so when you provide more care or more infant toddler 2s, your costs go up and you're losing money. I mean, so that is why childcare is a delicate dance.
Okay.
And, so if we have that happening, we'll probably see those costs increase because the staff to child ratio has
to be as such. Right. Okay. Yeah, I know that's always something and that's not just an Iowa thing, right? This is a national thing. I think that this is all over. It seems like any national conference we go to and we're talking about community and economic development, barriers to workforce, childcare and housing are always stuff that comes up.
Yeah.
And the prices of those things. And that's where a benefit of Fort Dodge is, again, cost of living, right? I mean, we feel the pinch even here locally, right? When we just had our daycare prices increase not too long ago, and it feels like a lot, but then you start talking to people in the Des Moines area, out of Iowa, and it's astronomical what daycare prices can be. So we really are fortunate to be receiving quality care at a somewhat affordable price when you look at the big scope of things.
And for many providers, there's some other backing to make that happen. And so, you were talking a little bit about the need for funding and donations. And I'm just going to work that in because, we're still in that process and we could really use the support of our community through monetary donations for this project. I mean, it is not just a one and done, but that is something that many of the centers have. Another organization helping support. So it is critical to, making all that happen. But as with many nonprofits.
Sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think as we continue to grow as a community, we're going to need more and more things like this. Like when my husband and I lived in Mankato, Minnesota, we had to move because childcare was $1,000 a week. And then
it makes things really cheap here.
Right.
Girl, I'm like, Iowa is what?
Tell your friends. Fort Dodge and Webster County.
I mean, it happened pretty quick. We were like, well, and then wait lists are, you were out.
Wait lists are a thing.
9 months out waiting to get into a daycare. So.
And then if you have a family with multiple children, I know we had someone who came from out of state to work here and, fortunately, we get to talk to a lot of these folks and say, like, how's it going? And through the community concierge service. And that was where it was like, it's going well, except I have 3 children and there's not one place that all 3 of them can go.
Right.
And so that makes it a little tough whenever you have, folks that have multiples and then the different wait list stacks and how that all works. And this is maybe not something that exists, but is there something to where like linking families, or if the state, is there anything out there that kind of has like almost a dashboard of like all the centers and their wait lists across like at any given time, or is that
there is
unrealistic?
There is a dashboard. It's called Childcare Connect.
Okay.
And so you can go and look for childcare and it'll pop up and show like who has openings. I think the button, like their little logo, or not their logo, but an icon pops up that says it's green, so they have openings. Might not, and then it'll list it, but it doesn't have wait lists because wait lists are each location has their own and they have their own process to go through. And I don't think we'll ever get there. I mean, that's a little bit more invasive. I mean, I don't see that the state doing that is going to work. But so there is that people can go search for childcare.
Yeah.
So that is nice. I mean, there's always been something. This is the latest iteration.
Okay.
And you can see that.
And that's linked on our website. We'll be sure to add those links in the show notes.
Yeah.
All the good things.
Hey guys, thanks so much for listening to the Alliance Connection podcast. Stick around as we hear a quick word from our sponsor.
This podcast is produced by Spin Market and Digital. Located in Fort Dodge, Iowa, Spin Market's highly skilled team can help you increase your market by updating your website, improving SEO, designing advertisements, and producing podcasts that will grab the attention of your market. Contact Spin Market today for all your digital marketing needs at digitalagent@spinmarket.com or call us at 515-302-8026. And to learn more, visit our website at www.spinmarket.com. That's digitalagent@spinmarket.com or 515-302-8026. Or visit our website at www.spinmarket.com.
And I think it's just important for our workforce to understand and I'm sure they do, right? But they're having those conversations with potential employees or future employees in interviews. Mm-hmm. It's a huge investment in our workforce to have quality childcare to point families to. So
absolutely. Right. And to have those resources on the Play and Learn Center too, right?
Absolutely. Well, all of those things.
Yeah.
The other thing I wanted to mention, and something linking families and communities funds, but is like family support programs for families, mostly at risk, but again, behind the scenes, that is happening in Calhoun and Pocahontas, because we also serve those two counties. It's operated by the public health department, and it's called the Parents as Teachers program. There is Parents as Teachers program here in Webster County.
Okay.
And so that is also available here, but it's a resource that walks hand in hand with families on, parenting and child development and those types of things. So those are things that not everyone knows that are happening, but I think it's important to, we are trying to support families at all different walks of life with parenting. Parenting is hard.
Yeah.
And my children didn't come with a manual. And I'm guessing your
didn't
children
either. I know.
Didn't come with a manual.
Yes.
That would have been helpful.
But, and when we have a lot of people who are single parents.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of people with no support.
Yeah.
And so that program, it really can be beneficial, especially to those families. I think it would be great if we could do it for everyone.
Absolutely.
We don't have enough money to do it everyone, but I could have used, that's back when I had kids, it was The Nanny was the show. And I was like, I could have used that program, that lady on several occasions.
Oh, yes.
But families do need our support.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so, we're trying to look at things holistically. That's why we do the sleep sacks to give kids a good start and, reduce SIDS and, preschool scholarships and childcare and the stuff that we do behind the scenes with childcare providers and family support. And it all comes together, but there are things that our community needs and we're lacking. And so we're glad to help fill that void.
That's great.
And the neat thing about linking families is a lot of times they are the invisible partner. You talking about family support, they're also doing a class at the library right now for families
I forgot about our literacy stuff. Go ahead, Jen.
Well, and again, I know my kids are right in that target range, but you mentioned partnership earlier, and I think that's what's really neat in our community is that there are always opportunities. Like no one can do it alone, but I have this resource, you have this resource or audience. How can we come together and create that? And so, they're running an early literacy program at the library, offering it for free to families.
This is why I need this league.
You guys have a great partnership. I love it.
I wish we could work together every day.
Yes.
And throughout the three counties, we're off. We worked with public libraries to offer early literacy programs because our reading test scores are not great in our communities, and we need to do better. But that all starts in early childhood. That starts with language. Parents talking to their kids, reading books, pointing out words, pointing out things in the the community on walks and those types of things. So I'm glad, Jen, that you brought that up because those are things that we're also again doing behind the scenes, but so important to where kids end up as adults.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're about.
And we can all use that support. I mean, that's what I found so interesting. So I'm an early childhood educator by trade. I used to teach.
Oh, wow. I didn't
know
that.
The Play and Learn Letter has been filling that cup for me. But as an early childhood educator myself, having that teacher brain as my own kids develop, I quickly realized my husband, who's a business major, a very educated man when it comes to business just does not have those same
skill sets
that as a parent you're like, oh, I didn't know that this activity is helping my child build language, or how simple it can be to work on these beginning literacy skills. It's not this rocket science thing. It's everyday stuff that we can be incorporating, but you just don't know what you don't know.
Right.
That's so true.
Yeah. Right. And just, pointing out to parents in our busy world and our busy lives that it's important to take the time.
Yeah.
Just sit, reading that book for the 100th time may be really annoying to you, but
so important.
It's everything to that child, not only for your social emotional attachment, but for the things that are happening in their brain and letter recognition. And, lots of times you've read a book, what seemed like a million times, they're reciting it and they don't know. I mean, it's from memory, but then pointing out the words and making it's all about those connections. And that is what we're trying to do every day, regardless of what program or, who we're working with. Every day, making those connections for kids, because that is really what matters.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. And, I think that we also don't realize, coming new to the state of Iowa, in Missouri, their push for early childhood is not, every state's different in that. And I do feel like Iowa has that push with having the 3-year-old preschool and the, some of these earlier things, but still getting the families involved. And that's why I love the name Linking Families, getting the families involved. And then how do we help in the business community to, for all of us, the partnerships, Jen, like you spoke about. I think the monetary donations is a great push, but then also just being in the know, making sure that all of the HR managers across our region understand the the impact of these programs and what we have available to our workforce, because that definitely is important.
Right.
But yeah.
And, volunteerism. The Play and Learn Center uses volunteers.
Okay.
To help staff the open play times.
Yeah.
But, that doesn't have to be with a Linking Families and Communities program. It could be you could volunteer to go in to read in a classroom.
Right.
At a childcare. There's going to be some steps. You can't just walk in.
Absolutely.
But, you got to you have to be checked out, vetted a little bit first. But, taking those opportunities and using them to benefit the next generation of children in our community. Those are limitless.
I agree. Is there anything else that you want to share with our Alliance Connection listeners today, ladies?
Just a plug for our programming. Go check us out on Facebook, Fort Dodge Play and Learn Center.
Okay.
We have our spring schedule right now. Our summer schedule is packed full as well. So in the summertime, we do fun programming and partnerships with the Parks and Rec Department, Webster County Conservation. So check us out. Come to a program if you never have. They're a lot of fun, and it's a great way to get out and enjoy Fort Dodge.
I love it.
Yeah, utilize that resource, because not every community has it.
Right? Yeah. That's so
make
true.
sure we fund it and it sticks around.
Right. In addition, you can go to Linking Families and Communities website, linking-families.com, and check out all the things that we are funding. There's a resource directory there. Our big project is the Childcare project. It's Sprouts Early Education and Development School.
Sprouts? Is that the cutest name? Who came up with that? That's adorable. Yes. Sprouts. Oh. It used to be a greenhouse where it's at, right?
It used to be a greenhouse,
Full circle.
So,
And the acronym spells seeds.
Acronym is SEEDS. So you start with seeds, and we are hoping to help all the children that are entering. It's our goal.
Yeah.
To help those kids sprout into strong, healthy adults.
Successful.
But yes, it was at a former florist.
Perfect.
And, it had a greenhouse. So it's kind of like
the stars aligned.
Yes.
Well, and what's fun is Becker Florist, if you guys haven't noticed how beautiful our flowers are today, they are our flower sponsor. So absolute shout out. Thank you to them for always,
these ones are so summery. I love the bright colors.
Those bright orange ones are great. So that's awesome.
Yeah. Anything else other questions you have for us?
So you talked kind of about what led you to that. How did you get into this?
How did I get into this?
Yes.
So my background is education.
Okay.
I was a middle school special education teacher. and I coached 3 sports in Southern Iowa. And I'm from this area, so I'm from the Clare area. So I didn't really get far because now I live by calendar, but when I was teaching in Southern Iowa and had the call to come home, I'm from a farm family, married a farmer. We lived away for a little bit, but he's from this area, calendar area. And it was like, okay, you know what? I don't know that I want to teach. I did look, but I was like, oh, it was early childhood and decategorization at the time. So it was, this jumbled up title, but overall it was helping kids, but in a different capacity, in a more administrative capacity. And I was like, I'm going to check this out. And I did, and I got the job, thankfully, and I've been here for a long time. But why I love what I do is because the things that we do now have the ability to reduce the number of kids that were in my special ed classroom or would have been in a special ed classroom at that time. Because, it's key to intervene early, speech, language, hearing, developmental delays. And so early childhood is where it's at for all of those things. And so we have a tremendous opportunity to impact the long-term trajectory of kids.
Absolutely.
And so that is why I'm so passionate about it, because I've seen the struggles of, those middle school kids who didn't like school.
Yeah.
Struggled.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Nobody wants that. Yeah. For kids. I mean, there's always going to be children that have special needs. Yeah. But hopefully we can intervene early to minimize the impacts for them.
What really drives you to do what you do, like with some of your history?
I think what drives me the most is knowing that we can impact the next generation. I want every child to have the best start. Yeah. And I know that we have children that don't. Yeah. And so how do we get there? We have to look at the environments in which they are in, right? Yep. And so that's with their parents for the most part, and in probably a childcare or preschool setting. And so how, that makes the most sense to me on like, where do our efforts need to be? And that's really what drives me, because I do care. And when I look at like what I tried to do for my own kids, I want that for every kid. And I wasn't a perfect parent. I mean, I don't think you can be.
I was gonna say, I don't think that really exists.
But we are all doing the best with what we have. Absolutely. And the tools that we're given. And hopefully through some of the programs that are providing and have provided, we're giving people additional tools that they didn't have. To be better parents. No one signs up to be a crummy parent. No. But there's a lot of situations people find themselves in, and some of them are not great. But how do we help them through that? So that's really what drives me. Yeah. I want kids to have a great future. Yeah. And I'm just trying to make an impact and do what I can. I mean, I know I can't do everything, and none of us can. But that is really, I think, really where it is.
Kind of even the playing field for them.
Yeah. And you don't have to be of low socioeconomic status to be a great parent. Great parents are great parents regardless. I mean, it doesn't matter how much money you have. Really, it is about spending time and making the effort with your kid, spending time with your children, playing, reading book. Again, you don't have to have a huge library. We want you to help expand the vocabulary of your children, but you can do that. It doesn't cost anything. But I think phones, the attention of other things rob parents of that time. And it's really, for me, it's just like we need to focus on the time, because you can't get those relationships built, later. It's really hard because of the window of opportunity in early childhood for social emotional attachment. Just sitting on the lap and reading a book, that's huge. Doesn't seem like a lot, but that's huge compared to sitting next to you with a phone. So those things are important, and I think we forget about that in this high-tech world of like, we have to have the latest app, and we've got to be doing this, and occupying people's time. No.
And it's a learning app, but it's not you reading a book to your kiddo, or a kiddo year in their lives.
And they're not, they're not learning those social skills
Right.
from their apps, you know?
Right. And nothing can replace a relationship. And really that's foundational for all of us. I mean, if you look at really successful people who are good people, they have great relationships.
Yeah.
And, you know, we want parents and caregivers to have great relationships with kids. That's what makes for a stable person in the end.
Yeah.
So, well, that got really deep, but
So deep. I
love
feel
it,
like it's
though.
so important, though. I mean,
it is.
because it's like we're all trying to. It's cool because even though there's, you know, we're the Economic Development Arm and Business Association, but some of the things that you guys are talking about impact what I do and vice versa.
Right.
Like we're all kind of doing. We're all trying to make our community better in just different facets, and it's neat to. I think it's important to keep talking about that because then whenever you are showing up at some businesses and saying, hey, this is the why, I think just always remembering that we're trying to have a whole healthy community from all ages.
Right. And we all have a part in it.
Exactly.
We just need to play that part.
Absolutely.
And we all need each other.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a us versus them. You know, we're in it together,
Yeah.
so to speak.
Can you imagine
So-
if we all tried to do these things on our own?
Right.
We'd get nowhere.
Yes.
And that's where, like, plug for Fort Dodge. It's a really special place. Born and raised here, I'm a little biased, but during my research stage of this process 5-6 years ago, I talked to people from all over the country, and many people that I spoke to said things like, well, just prepare yourself. Like your kids that you're dreaming of making this happen for might be in high school by the time you see something come to fruition.
Oh my gosh.
And I just, in the back of my head, thought like, well, like that's not how Fort Dodge works though. Like I just believe that, and that's all it led was like one relationship led to another relationship, and it happened very quickly. And I just don't think a lot of other communities have the tight-knit relationships that we have here in Fort Dodge.
Literal chills.
Me too. So Jen, from dreaming that up till execution, what was that time frame?
So my
curious.
oldest was, it was like the winter of 2019. He was 1 year old, and I was like, holy moly, where do I take a busy 1 year old? We don't have
I'm
really.
in the thick of it. I need
Like at that time we had the mall, at least we'd take him to the mall, let him run around.
right.
Yeah.
And then COVID hit. So like it kind of started pre-COVID,
Yeah.
started researching, having conversations, and then COVID was kind of a weird time.
Yeah.
That would have been a tough time to start something up.
Yeah. So
Yes.
then that was a little blurb in there of time. And I don't, I'd have to look back to remember when we got connected,
Yeah, I don't know. It was like
but probably
you know,
early 2022.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we moved really quickly because I'm like, you know what? I think we can make this work. Let's figure it out. And you
Nice.
know, we're just like, okay, you know, if we can keep this something that's relatively low cost, that you know doesn't have a lot of overhead. You know, like I know, you know, bigger designs were really what you know. Children's Museum and that kind of thing, but it's like, okay, well, I don't know that the Fort Dodge community can sustain that. That's a big lift. But what can we do?
Sure.
And anything is better than nothing. And I think, you know, although, you know, we'd like to see it bigger, it's been pretty good.
Yeah. It's serving its purpose.
It's serving its purpose. It doesn't have to be, you know, you don't have to have the best toy or, you know, the best of every, I mean, this is good. And, you know, you don't need the Children's Museum to make great things happen for kids. And I think this is right-sized for the community that we have.
Yeah.
With opportunities to grow. I mean, you know,
absolutely.
like it's not like it has to stay this way, but I think it's been good. We moved pretty swiftly and, you know, the reception has been great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So what's your goals for it? If somebody came and said, here's a huge fat check, what would you love to do? Just curious.
Hard to narrow that down. I mean, I would love for it to be sustainable just for years to come. So I think, you know, right now it's my passion, it's my baby, but where is it 15 years from now when my kids are grown and, you know, would love to see it grow beyond that. So just continuing to grow our community, grow our network. Like Elizabeth said, we're run by volunteers right now. So it's just me. And then we have a volunteer team that just helps run the sessions. So maybe we grow our team and we have more people involved. Yeah.
Awesome. And what about you, Elizabeth?
Well,
You had a blank check. What would you do?
oh my gosh.
That's not usually something you think about because it's just
Yeah,
one
because,
step
like,
at a time,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, everything has been like, incremental steps,
Yes.
a few back at times, you know. Gosh, if somebody had a blank check, well, I would probably, we would fully fund the Sprouts Early Education and Development School for sure, and set up some, some other opportunities within that. I would like to create some kind of scholarship program to help with childcare or increase the wages of childcare providers.
Yeah.
I would expand the center, but because I know we need it.
Yeah, and that's the wage thing too. It's kind of like our teachers, our police officers, our fire,
none of them get paid enough. We could be giving them $1 million a year,
things, and
they're making the biggest impact.
Yes,
Yes.
So that's great.
So there's a lot there I'd have to think about, but I'm up for the challenge. I'm just saying.
So if anybody has a blank check,
if anybody wants to come over,
we are
you are a nonprofit.
Her information will be in the show notes.
C3.
There's naming opportunities at the new building.
Yes.
Naming rights.
Yeah. There's a lot. The possibilities are infinite.
Okay. That's great.
I would like to dream about that a little bit.
Well, we got to dream. We got to continue to dream. And it sounds like from just talking to you both today, without those dreams, these two amazing organizations would not be what they are. So thank you for that and continuing to do the work that you do. It helps with the work we do because we're all kind of in this together, making our community better. So, yeah.
So when are sessions for the Play and Learn Center?
So we run seasonal schedules. So because we are volunteer run, it's not a predictable every week's the same.
Sure.
So on our Facebook page, on Linking Families website, you can find our scheduling and ticketing website. We do ask families to sign up even if they want to pay at the door, just because it helps us on the back end have our volunteers ready to go. So just kind of depends on the season, but the summer season will be full of lots of fun. We do park sessions at area parks. We'll be out at Kennedy this summer.
Nice.
And like I said, some of those special, we do a STEM, a music, and an arts and crafts camp with Parks and Rec. So lots of fun summer things.
And are the camps only a certain age group?
The only one that we really anyone's welcome, especially because for families, a lot of times you have those mixed age ranges. So we really went away from making it a strict, because how do you bring your 4-year-old to a class when you have a 2-year-old little sibling?
Yeah.
Right.
So we've really, especially in the Play and Learn Center, a 2-year-old can go play in the kitchen while we're doing a structured activity that maybe is above their attention span. So
a play kitchen, not like a
not with fire,
not one with flames or anything like that. Yes. Just wanted to be
pretend and make believe. Yeah.
Picturing a 2-year-old slicing out avocado. You're like,
oh my goodness. I love
we're really flexible. The STEM class we encourage, just because those are you need some attention span to do that one.
Yeah.
But
that's great.
Yeah.
Some certain skill sets to attend those ones.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for coming on the
you.
Alliance Connection. We greatly appreciate what you guys do in our community.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. For all of our listeners, please don't forget to like, share, and check out our community calendar for all of the upcoming things. But otherwise, thanks for tuning in. Appreciate you guys. Every connection strengthens our community, and every conversation sparks new opportunities. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Alliance Connection.
Follow the Greater Fort Dodge Growth Alliance online and on social media. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode.
I'm Astra.
I'm Katie.
And we'll see you next time.